Are you looking for the best rice cookers? In this video, we will look at some of the 5 best rice cookers on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Zojirushi Micom Rice Cooker and Warmer NS. Potatoes. And, I think it's worth noting, I've left my rice on the keep warm setting for as much as an hour and a half and, remarkably, it doesn't affect the texture at all. Strategist Senior Editor Winnie Yang has let hers sit even longer, up to 4 hours, and says the same. When all is said and done, both the steamer and the inside bowl are a breeze to clean. You pluck them out, and any residue rinses right off. My biggest disclaimer: it takes quite a while, about an hour, to cook the rice. Other models, and even making rice on the stovetop, are done in closer to 30 minutes. But for consistency and texture, it really is the best. But don't just take it from me. In my reporting, Zojirushi came up more than any other brand. It has a fancier model with even more settings that multiple experts mentioned. You can read about that one further down on the list. But this one, especially given that it's less than half the price of the other, makes for an all-around great buy. Food writer and recipe developer Kira Wright-Ruiz had to leave hers behind recently when she moved out of the country and told me it's the thing she misses the most. I'm sure people have said this before, but it really is the Lamborghini of rice cookers, she says, noting that even if you add too little or too much water, it will self-correct. You get a consistent texture with a margin of error. Another particularly appealing feature is the ability to preset when you want your rice to cook. You can sync it to be done at the same time as other foods, says Wright-Ruiz. Like if you're braising something that takes 3 hours, you can time it so that the rice is done right when your braise is done. Or if you want rice in the morning, you can set it before you go to sleep and it will automatically start so you have rice ready to go when you wake up. Finally, though perhaps not the most imperative to the rice itself, Zojirushi's machines play music when you start them, an adaptation of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and when they're done cooking. And it's clearly delightful enough that everyone who recommended the brand, again, more on the rest of those folks below, made mention of the jingles. Number 2. Aroma Digital Rice and Grain. For a particularly low-key model that gets the job done, the Aroma is a great bet. In my own testing, I found the simplicity of the machine wasn't only good enough but a plus. While I do appreciate the more targeted settings of the Zojirushi, this one was more intuitive to use initially and has only a few very clear settings. Each time, it has yielded fluffy, perfectly cooked grains, no matter if I'm making long grain white, short grain white, or brown rice. And the keep warm setting works well. Once, I let a batch sit for a full hour before I ate, and it was still moist but not overcooked. Recipe developer and cookbook author Abby Balingit expresses a similar sentiment. It's very straightforward to use, she says, basically dummy-proof. The cost was part of the initial appeal, Balingit says, but she's been using hers for 5 years with consistent results every time. She also appreciates the compact size that fits in the small space above her kitchen cabinets. Still, I'll note, it fits plenty. I made rice in it for a dinner party of 5 people and had leftovers. And Chef Justin Lee is a fan, too. For home use, I think a cheap and simple one is really all you need, he says. Overall, it's just easier than using a pot, or at least you don't have to watch it as much. It gets the job done totally fine. And sure, there's something about the way the Zojirushi is constructed that makes it superior. But at the end of the day, we're not making sushi rice. This is just us cooking rice at home so we can feed ourselves and our family. For that, he maintains, it's perfect. Number 3. Imusa Electric Nonstick Rice Cooker, 3 cups. The Imusa literally couldn't be easier to use. It's almost toy-like. To turn it on, you just plug it in. Otherwise, it operates with a single tab you switch down to cook and up to keep warm. This latter setting is its default when plugged in, and it reverts back to it the moment a batch is finished. To turn it off, you unplug. In my testing, I found the machine produces nicely textured short and long grain white rice. Plump and hydrated but not mushy. I will note that though I haven't tried it with brown rice yet, some reviews say this doesn't work as well because a lot of water collects in the lid, so I might not opt for this model if you plan to make longer cooking varieties. I like the clear lid. It doesn't actually do anything, but there's something satisfying about being able to peek inside. Recipe developer and writer Justine Dwarin loves her Imusa because of its simplicity and because of its reliability. She first bought it about 8 years ago at Target because it was the cheapest one she could find. Despite the notably low price, the machine has proved to be incredibly durable and has never done me wrong, she says. When a cooking appliance is only meant for one use, you don't need the fanciest model. Number 4. Zojirushi Pressure Induction Heating. This is the previously mentioned higher-end Zojirushi rice cooker that so many experts enthusiastically recommended. It is, notably, the most expensive on the list, but it's clearly a favorite, and a worth-it investment if you eat enough rice. It has that same standout technology as the more affordable model, but the main difference is the many settings. Everyone who I talked to about it mentioned one in particular. This model I bought specifically because it has a kanji mode, says food writer and editor Elise Whitney. The one I had previously for many years only had Japanese porridge, which is thinner. So yes, I bought this for a button, but it literally makes perfect kanji. Recipe developer and cookbook author Betty Liu also makes a lot of kanji in hers, calling it convenient, fast, and incredibly reliable. And finally, TikTok recipe creator Vivian Aronson uses that feature too, particularly for breakfast. I can set it at night and have kanji ready in the morning, she says. Number 5. Pars Automatic Persian Rice Cooker, 3 cups. The Pars Persian Rice Cooker is built to do something particular and different from all the others on this list. Make flawless tadig. Tadig is the ubiquitous crispy layer of rice at the bottom and top, when you turn it over, of many preparations of Persian rice dishes. It is also notoriously difficult to master. The goal is to end up with fluffy, separate grains of basmati underneath that crust, which must be evenly crunchy and beautifully golden brown. I'm an avid home cook, but rice was always tough for me, and that's part of why for a while I avoided cooking a lot of Persian food, says writer Arya Roshanian, who chronicled his foray into using the Pars for Vox last year. Funnily enough, his mom and grandmother both used one, and it was during the pandemic that he finally decided it was time to get one himself. In fact, he has 2 now, the smaller 4-cup he started out with, and a larger 7-cup he uses to make tadig for a crowd. It's user-friendly, he says, something that my 85-year-old grandma who only speaks Farsi and isn't that good at technology can figure out. The first time I used it I was thinking I would need to try a few times in order to get it right, but it came out pretty perfectly, and then each subsequent time too. It regulates temperature so it never burns. The insert is lightweight, which is nice for turning over. I still oil the bottom a bit because tadig needs to be a little fried, but everything is non-stick so it's super easy to flip out and to clean.